I'm keeping an eye on the time here, Elise, and there's a couple other quick issues. One, unemployment locally, and I know it's not directly a council issue, it's a federal government and to some extent a state government, but at the local government level there are things that can be done. My reading of the available statistics indicates that I think Bendigo's sitting on 7.6% at the moment in the March quarter for 2016, and we look at Ballarat was sitting on 5.9 where we were, in a comparative sense 12 months, 18 months ago. Is enough being done, and what more can be done to assist in driving employment here in Bendigo through council?
Yeah, look, we do have an economic development unit, and as you say, it's not council's responsibility, that is different government, but we certainly, our economic development unit, does, I guess, that's the
a lot of work behind the scenes.
Well, the employment falls into that category, into that department. I know that they are, not just with our unemployment, but our youth unemployment in particular is just sky high, not just high like that, but sky high. And so I know that our economic development unit have been working with, doing a bit more with the schools with work experience and longer term work experience as well, where younger people are actually getting their foot in the door and having that opportunity to have a go at work and give it a try. And I know my son, when he was in year 9 or 10, he did his work experience and they asked him to stay on where he was as well. So,
gee, that's great.
So I mean, it's giving young people an opportunity. But as far as like a massive jobs, I'm like with the new hospital opening and everything like that, we're going to have a shortage of nurses and the health sector. So I mean, there'll be spin-offs
there, I guess, and it is great of overlooking that, yeah.
Yeah, there will be, and I just think that also with, with the NDIS, we're not going to have our hack services forever neither, so there's going to be, in the whole health sector across the board, there's going to be a whole lot of employment created.
Yeah.
And then I guess on the other hand, I know that we have council passed the safe haven visas.
Oh yeah.
So we may well have, and I know that we've also, the council as a whole, not me necessarily, but when 5 councillors vote, that's the decision, have voted to have, I guess more people come to Bendigo to live.
Yeah.
And so we may well see our unemployment rates go even higher. I don't know, we may well see that. It's right now in our health and wellbeing strategy that came out last night that council were talking about, there was, I can't remember the exact figures, but something like 62 or 65% of people have put that they're kind of struggling financially.
No surprise, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a whole lot of statistics. I know there was about 35% of people saying that or 33 or something percent said they rarely use public transport, and another 35% or something said they never do. Well, collectively, that's 65% of people that either never do or never will or don't want to use public transport. So we need to do something about that too. We need to, not just public transport, but we also need to get people moving. We've got a huge epidemic of obesity in the city at the moment.
Yeah.
I know that's been happening for a few years. Ironically, it came out that, a lot of people think that they're healthy. There's a big percentage of people that are obviously happy, and I mean, and that's all fine and good, but we do need to get a bit more active. I think the dog parks last night.
They were a good idea, actually.
Awesome.
2 new dog parks.
How good is that? I'd like to see some good signage at those. They're
good practical little things that a lot of people will use.
They are. There's a few things that could go wrong. Like you've got all size dogs, you've got grumpy dogs, big dogs.
Tell me about it. I've been there, done that.
Yeah. So there's big dogs, little dogs. So what I'd like to see is some really proper signage there with contact details of council and also, maybe the nearest vet's phone number as well. I mean, incidents happen.
And
there's a whole lot of things.
Owners, that's
absolutely, and some rules and regulations of what is good and what is acceptable. Well, yes, but sometimes people need it written. Sometimes it needs to be up there that people pick up your dog poo. If your dog does poo, pick it up. No one wants to be. There's nothing worse than stepping in a dog poo.
I'm walking our little mutt is about this big through Roslyn Park only this week, and it annoys the hell out of me every time it happens. He's on a lead. He's harmless, little tiny thing, but you meet a bloke coming the other way with this big dog, off lead, and I'm thinking, you know, it's just, to me, it's just common sense, but it's selfish as well. So whether it's dog park or, it comes back to common sense, as we said.
It does, but these two particular parks are for dogs off leash. And specifically off leash.
Great
so
idea.
I would like to, so obviously we're going to have some good fencing, but again, that will get people out, get people active, hopefully. And there, you know, there are, as Councillor Cox said last night, it's a great opportunity and a great way to meet your neighbours, to meet, you know, to everyone, you know,
Exactly.
collectively
Everyone's
there's
a winner.
groups of all kinds of people nowadays. Why not have one of your local pet dogs, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Elise, we're well and truly out of time, but it's always good to catch up with you, and especially after a meeting last night with, you know, it wasn't like huge ticket items, but as we've covered this morning, some really interesting things that all have an impact out there in the community. So thank you so much for taking the time this morning, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again over coming months towards the next election, the council election.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us again today. We'll see you again next week with another council update.